Welcome to the Rewards Master. Today we're going to start something new and kind of a little series that I'm going to begin where we talk about the upsides and the downsides of the different major ecosystems. So we're going to look today at American Express, we'll look at Citi and Chase and Wells Fargo and Capital One and even look at Bilt. And so as we're examining each of these, I really tried to compile, and I'm absolutely certain I'm going to miss some of them, but the major upsides and downsides of each program. And these videos are really for what I call level 4 and level 5, and I'll include a video that you can click on at the end that kind of describes where a person is in the credit card game. But I think this information's useful for anyone who is trying to develop great redemptions in this fantastic hobby. So please hit the like and subscribe button, and let's dive into it together. I decided to start with American Express because as I was making my lists of different upsides and downsides of different programs, this one had kind of the longest list in both categories, upsides and downsides. And so American Express, it really is very polarizing because it can be absolutely one of the best ecosystems that there is, but it also can be one of the most frustrating ecosystems. So it's got to be looked at and evaluated honestly. Am I going to get great value out of this or am I not? Sometimes people dive into it for a little while and it doesn't really work for them, and then they have to switch to something else. So hopefully these kind of observations will be helpful to you. When it comes to upsides, there are a lot of them. I think that the one that stands out as the most incredible benefit, although it has a lot of great benefits, is the incredible point train. Nobody, except the only contender would possibly be the Ink cards from Chase, but nobody has the sign-up bonuses like American Express. It's just in the stratosphere in comparison. We consider in the credit card hobby a 70,000, 80,000 point sign-up bonus to usually be really good with most issuers. With American Express, man, that is chump change. There are so many offers. You can get gold card offers with 125,000 points. You can get platinum card offers with 150 or 175. You can get business platinum cards depending on when you're applying, sometimes up north of 200,000 points, even 250,000 points. So that's just fantastic. And so if you want to rack up, usually if you're listening to creators and they're talking about their points, almost always, with the exception of possibly Chase at times, almost always do they have the most points in American Express. I've got 200,000 in Citi, and I've got 100,000 in Capital One. I've got 1.4 million American Express points. Well, why is that? Because there's just so many to be had. It's incredible, the points parade that you can go on if you do it right with American Express. The second great upside of American Express is they have the most transfer partners. And they even have a domestic one in Delta. It's not a very good one, but it's a domestic one. And so if you're looking for variety, if you're looking for a lot of options for great ways to redeem your points, you've got it. You've got Star Alliance, you've got One World, you've got SkyTeam. All those different alliances are represented in their many transfer partners. You can transfer to several hotel programs. They usually aren't great redemptions in the case of American Express, but they have them. So if you're looking for just one ecosystem, one currency that absolutely can meet most of your needs, if you're creative and if you're at level 4 or level 5 and you do a lot of transfers to foreign transfer partners, then there's just nothing quite as good as American Express because it has more options than everybody else. The third thing that I'll point out is American Express just has incredible insurances and protections. Now, the one exception, and we'll talk about that in downsides, is car rental insurance, but that's just kind of one little exception to the rule. But in general, American Express, if you purchase something on that card, you're getting extended warranty, you're getting return protection, you're getting just fantastic insurances and protections. And to go along with that, the fourth thing is it has really good customer service. I mean, if you call American Express, they're going to answer the phone. They're going to be very helpful, very nice. They won't always have the answer you want, but it's going to be a good customer service rep, usually that you can understand pretty well. And so that's really something, because there's nothing more frustrating than not be able to get anywhere with customer service when you really, really need them. So I think that's a great benefit of the American Express system. Another one that I want to mention is upgrade offers. American Express, even though we'll talk about lifetime language and the downsides, when it comes to having cards, you can get on a rotation where you, especially on their charge cards rather than their credit cards, but it does work on those some too. You can take your American Express green card and they'll give you upgrade offers to the gold, and then they'll give you upgrade offers to the platinum, and then you can downgrade it, and then you get upgrade offers to the gold, and then you get upgrade offers. So even if you can't get new cards, there's still ways to get more and more membership reward points over and over and over, which is to me kind of something that's not discussed a lot, but is a very, very valuable benefit. The sixth thing that I'll mention is credits. Now, this is one of the polarizing aspects of American Express. They have a bunch of credits on some of their higher dollar annual fee cards. But these credits, if you add it up, it's not all that impossible for a person to get back more than the annual fee on the card, even when those annual fees are extreme. And it does take effort, and you cannot just be well, I'm just going to use my card for everything and not think about it kind of person. They're going to take you to town if you do that, because you've got to try to find a way to get the credits back if you want the value from it. But if you do, there are ways that you can get back more than your annual fee on many, if not most, of their cards. Even though you look at that number up front, wow, $650, $695, $375, $325, whatever it is, you can look at the details of how to get the credits on Uber, on Delta Stays, and a whole bunch of different things, and you can get your money back. You got to put in effort, but it is possible. And with a lot of other programs, you can get half your money back, or you can get a portion of your money back. But to get all of it back and more, not possible with some other ecosystem. So American Express, wow, the credits definitely for some a downside, but if you use them, they can be a fantastic upside. The seventh thing I want to mention is lounge access. Now, this one's kind of, it's polarizing as well, because there's no doubt American Express cards that have lounge access have the most lounge access. That's true of their charge cards, American Express Platinum, Business Platinum. It's true even of their airline co-branded cards, the Delta card, because it gives you access both to an airline lounge and to their proprietary lounges with the Centurion clubs. So, wow, no other card really does that. And so what a fantastic benefit that is. When it just comes to how many lounges you can access, nobody beats American Express. Now, the eighth upside that I've got to mention is referral bonuses. Everybody does referral bonuses, and Chase can do some good ones as well. But pretty much American Express is the leader in being able to rack up points by referring somebody. What's really cool about it is most other programs, you've got to refer somebody to the exact card you're referring from. Not with American Express. Many times you can refer them from any card to any card, and you're going to get your referral bonus. So it's an easy way. I mean, if you look at a lot of creators who are really pushing American Express cards and their referral links, that's why, because man, it's just easier to get referral bonuses with American Express pretty much than anybody else. The ninth thing is there's no hard pull with American Express. Once you have one of their cards, you can generally, and maybe this isn't true for everybody, for the most part, if you go and apply for a new card, they're not going to pull your credit. It's not going to count against you. You can look and look and look time and time again, as long as you space them out a little bit to try to get a card, and there's not a hard pull. So it doesn't go on your credit report, doesn't count, And that really, really is helpful. So American Express is a fantastic backup. If you're like trying to get a card and you get denied, then, well, I guess I'll go get another American Express card if I can. So you go and try that. So nobody else does that. And I think that is just a fantastic upside. Now that kind of concludes my list, and that is a long list. There are probably more that I missed. I mean, I was racking my brain and just kept coming up with more and more. So please leave any other upsides you see down in the comments below. But now we get to the downsides. And the list is pretty much equally long. I mean, there is so many polarizing things about American Express. So let's dive into them. The first one kind of stands out as the biggest annoyance, and that is they have a once-in-a-lifetime policy. That means if you've had a card, and sometimes if you've got a card in the same family, you can only have it once in your lifetime. Some people say, well, that means 7 years. I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But wow, that is just so frustrating for people in this game. So that's certainly one of them. The second downside is almost equally frustrating as the once-in-a-lifetime thing, and that is pop-up jail. When you go to see if you can get a card and it doesn't give you really any explanation except we've determined that you can't get the sign-up bonus, and you have no idea why. I mean, it may be that you have downgraded too quickly on something. It may be that you haven't spent enough on your cards. Who knows? I mean, it's anybody's guess. So it's extremely frustrating because you want this card, it's got a limited time offer, and you get no. Now, sometimes you can go like through an incognito browser or, try to change your VPN settings and do it, but it's still just kind of the roulette wheel of trying to figure out if you're going to be able to get their card. So very, very frustrating, the pop-up jail. The third downside is kind of minor, I guess, but it's when it comes to those protections and insurances, there's one area where they fall short, and that is rental car coverage. A lot of the other programs, the better cards with Capital One and with Chase give primary, so it doesn't go to your car insurance if there's a problem. American Express has secondary. You can purchase primary, but that's a feature that comes free on a lot of other cards. So to me, that's definitely a downside and kind of an asterisk on those great protections that you get with their cards. The fourth thing is just kind of another annoyance, and that is they're the only program that charges a fee to transfer your points, and they only do it with US programs, so things like Delta and Hawaiian, and it's a very small fee. It's like comes out to, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I think it's around 60 cents per 1,000 points. So it's not like a huge amount, but it is frustrating because nobody else does that, just American Express. So that little fee to me is an annoying downside as well. Now the fifth thing is a big boy, and that is they have just huge annual fees. I mean, on average, if you take all their cards and average them together, American Express is going to triple or quadruple the fees that other issuers charge for their cards with an annual fee. I mean, their mid-tier cards are like $300 and something versus $95 or $150 with other people. Their top tier card is a couple $100 more than some of the others, sometimes $300 more than some of their competitors. Now, as we said, in the upsides, there you can certainly get your money back if you go to a lot of effort, but it's effort. And so it's a game that they play. I think most of us understand that. They're banking that a lot of people won't get their credits back. And they formulate those credits in ways that make it not super easy in that, you might get a $120 Uber credit, but it's $10 a month. So for 12 months, you got to remember to do it. And then you've got to put in the effort to do it. And it's doable, but it's tough. Some of the other credits are like, these are weird, like Equinox credit. I mean, who uses an Equinox? I guess for people in New York City, maybe that works. But even if I live there, it's so expensive. I mean, it's not Planet Fitness. It's like 25 times that much. And so who would do that? Well, some people clearly do. But for just average people, there's some of them, I mean, on the Business Platinum, Indeed credit, a lot of people don't have a big enough business to do that. The Adobe credit only works for this one Adobe product that's like the one that very few people use unless they have a big team of people. I mean, some of them just pad the numbers about you can get back X amount of annual fees if you use all these credits. Yeah, but I've very seldom seen anybody who uses all those credits. So They're an upside, yes, but they are potentially a downside. And so I think for a lot of people, that keeps them out of American Express, frustrates them with them, and causes them to leave the ecosystem. And the seventh downside that I'll mention is international acceptance. American Express charges the merchants a higher fee to use the card. And so they're pretty much mostly universally accepted, except for maybe little, small, home run type of businesses in the United States. You can use it almost anywhere. But overseas, wow, it's very hit and miss. I mean, you don't know what you're going to face when you go to pay with that card. You may get a yes, but many times you're going to get a no. So when you're traveling overseas, most of their cards don't have like an international fee to use the card, but it doesn't really help when nobody takes the card. So most of us who travel internationally, we're kind of aware of that, and you've got to make sure you take a Visa or MasterCard with you. So that's my list today. I'm sure I missed some upsides, and I'm sure I missed some downsides, because as I was going through, I kept adding more and thinking of more, and I'm certain that I didn't think of all of them. So tell me down below, what are your upsides and downsides to American Express? Tell me the ones I missed, so that if I do this again in a year or later on, that maybe I can have a more complete list. I appreciate the help. Also, what would really help out me and the channel is it doesn't cost you anything to like and subscribe. So if you just hit those buttons, also turn on notifications, and that'll help you know when I put out the next upside downside video. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you here next time.